Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Liberty Lunch Break, the topic du jour from Off the Wire. I am your host, Noella Lynn, a.k.a. the Cajun Libertarian. So what is the topic du jour? Young at heart, adult baby diaper lovers face harmful stigma in their quest for comfort from thestranger.com, March 31st. Ah, yes, the young at heart who just want to be adults and wear diapers are victims. Let's talk about it. I am your host, Noella Lynn, a.k.a. the Cajun Libertarian. But first, let's watch this hilarious, absolute video gold of a man proposing to his fiance on a baseball field. Can you guess what happens next? Leveled. Leveled. Yes. Let's watch it again. Oh. Do you hear the crowd? Leveled. Oh. Oh, man, that's great. That's going to go viral so long. Hey, look, every time you see someone propose in public space, you should do that. But legally, this is not legal advice. Ugh, that came out horrible. Yeah, but if you decide to do that legally, I will play it on the show and have it recorded. That's just glorious. Oh man. All right, let's get to it. Because this is an absolutely ridiculous article. So, what are we going to call this segment? Yes, you guessed it. If you didn't, now you're going to know. It is the current state of media, and it is an absolute effing dumpster fire. Unbelievable. All right. Young at heart, adult baby diaper lovers face harmful stigma in their quest for comfort. Thestranger.com, March 31st. Look how long this is. And this probably isn't even half the article. Go read the article. My God. All right. Now, in their defense, okay, because at the end of this thing, there's a lot of people that are like worried that these it's mostly guys. It's mostly guys. And they provide a lot of studies and control groups and psychological analyses and stuff like that to say that these people aren't typically child predators. And most of them, this isn't even a sexual fantasy for them. But just the fact that the media is going to call these people victims, they're harmful stigma. Okay. All right. So let's talk about it. What would it feel like to be a baby for a day? Your meals and clothes would be prepared for you, and your busy work schedule would be replaced with hours of mindless fun. Off the top, you are a freaking adult. Most of these people are supposed to be men. You don't get this option, nor if you have this desire, then there's something wrong with you as a man. Like, my God, not to self-project here, but I don't even like being at home on the weekends. I love my family. I love hanging out with them. I don't like being bored. I always have to be productive. And so I have a full-time career. I have a full-time radio, TV show, or a podcast. Also, help do the music at church. I have my spiritual life. Like, I pack the plate because I don't want downtime. What is this? What is this? You're not a man. You're not. I'm sorry. Grow a pair. And, if you're a woman, estrogen up, my God. All the responsibilities of adulthood would fade into the distance. No. Giving way to a simpler life, if only for a short time. It's a fantasy that Seattle resident Smook has tried to suppress for most of his life. Growing up poor in Missouri, he had little access to children's toys or TV and no friends to play with while he spent most of his time outdoors. Okay, so wearing diapers, it doesn't fix that. Everybody's got daddy issues. Everybody's got childhood trauma. Everybody. Sack up. In 2013, when he found a group of people who enjoy role-playing as babies or wearing adult diapers called adult baby / diaper lovers, AB/DL. Adult baby diaper lovers. He thought he had found an opportunity to reclaim his childhood. 1 year later, Leo, a condominium superintendent on the other side of the 49th parallel, lost his mother. At the suggestion of a close friend, the Ottawa, Ontario resident tried wearing diapers as a coping mechanism for his grief, only to discover the great comfort they brought. Now, look, I just lost my mom less than a year ago. It's the hardest thing I've ever been through. I've never cried so much in my life, ever. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Spent a lot of time going over all of the things in my head that I would miss with my mom being gone. For those of you listening later, I just pointed to the ornament that came off my mother's casket. It says Mom. That is a healthy coping mechanism. There is no shortcut. I understand how devastating this is from very personal and very recent anecdotal experience. This isn't healthy. This isn't a coping mechanism, and it is all about you and not actually addressing what's happening in the grief that you need to work through as an adult. Man, I try to keep these things light and fun, but sorry. All right, let's carry on. Leo spent the next 8 years embracing this side of himself and exploring Ottawa's ABDL community, adult baby diaper lovers. Smook, meanwhile, we're talking about two different people here and how they handled their whatever you want to call this, their fantasy is what it is. Their very childish, immature, unhealthy fantasy of wearing diapers or acting like a baby. All right, two different people. Leo spent the next 8 years embracing this side of himself and exploring Ottawa's ABDL community. Smook, meanwhile, spent those years coming to terms with his interests, finally taking the leap into Seattle's ABDL community, which is a community, in November of 2022. This isn't a community. Everything now must be marginalized into and compartmentalized and collectivized into a community. You all are just numbers being herded into sections of things like chickens and cattle. That's what this is. See Mao's Cultural Revolution. Carry on. I am not going to stop talking about Mao's Cultural Revolution. Ever. If you want to talk about what's going on in society today, when you talk about the gender revolution or the gender identity, the gender ideologues, and the sexual revolution, where everything must be based on where you put your junk, which could not be more Neanderthal and absolutely devoid of any intellectualism whatsoever, see Mao's Cultural Revolution. That's what this is. We are much more closer to that dictatorship than 1930s Germany. I promise you. But remember, we're working with people that are extremely good and have adopted and learned lots of all of the dictatorial regimes that were wildly successful. You might say, hey, Noel Cajun, how would you call Mao's Cultural Revolution successful when almost 60 million people died? Success to the communist. Success. Massive success. All right, let's move on. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that in the microphone. I apologize. This gave them both the opportunity to express their true selves, form strong friendships with people who understand them, and feel loved. But no fantasy lasts forever. These identities come with many stigmas. Accusations of immaturity. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because you're immature. Irresponsibility around children. Yeah, that's very, very effing irresponsible around children. Or even pedophilia run rampant in online spaces and news articles. Can't speak to the pedophilia, but just saying, generally speaking, what are the odds of somebody like that versus a normal human being? Unfortunately, most of the pedos seem like normal human beings. They've just kind of been like loud about it lately, about not being normal. embracing abnormality, embracing insanity, embracing and promoting absolute depravity. So, look, I won't, like I said at the beginning of the show, they cited a lot of studies. Take that with a grain of salt at this point, but they did. There's a lot of studies. Like I said, there's 2 pages here. I probably didn't even hit half. I'm not reading through all this. This is all gobbledygook. I will direct them to go see the studies for themselves. Usually I love citing studies, and there are a few in here. So let's keep going. Shut my mouth. Keep running my mouth. Accusations of immaturity, irresponsibility around children, or even pedophilia run rampant in online spaces and news articles. ABDL people have been assaulted, fired from their jobs, or legally separated from their children for what community members and experts call harmless interests. Probably not, though. Probably not. They're showing clear signs of mental illness. So, probably not. By the way, print guns, not money. Let's see. I put my finger on the spot so I wouldn't lose my spot. I did anyway. Nevertheless, as the ABDL community continues to grow, more safe spaces are appearing in Washington, Maryland, and Ottawa for these kids at heart. ABDL people may either call themselves adult babies, meaning they like role playing as a baby, which is called age play, quote unquote. That's worse than weird. Or diaper lovers, just as bad, meaning they enjoy the feeling of wearing or using diapers. Use underwear. I mean, look, a lot of people like being commando. I ain't gonna hate on them for it. If you're in diapers, are you crapping yourselves? Otherwise, what's the point? Are you pissing on yourself? Otherwise, what's the point? I promise you, it's not a snug, nice, comforting feeling. Your inner thighs aren't built for that anymore because you're an adult now. My God. Since the ideas are closely related, people sometimes identify as both. These just identify as whatever you want, man. We're completely lost. We live in an insane society, a not serious culture. These are peak first world problems, period. And what I'm about to talk about, or what I've talked about on the Mondays and the Thursdays, off the wire lives, they were Sundays, Wednesdays, had to change them to Monday, Thursdays because of the music stuff at church. These first world problems are about to go poof, gone. I don't know the timeline, but definitely tune into the lives because those are the most popular show by far. These may be casual hobbies for some, like Leo, and sexual kinks for others. That's even worse. It gets weirder. A lack of demographic research makes it difficult to say how many people identify as ABDL or how long they have been around for, but online communities have been growing over the last few years. Forums like our ABDL and Daily Diapers had over 50,000 global users as of March 2023. I don't know. Some of those people are going to be trolls. Have to be. One of the community's largest in-person events, the Chicago Age Play Convention. That's what Capcom is? Holy smokes. I did not know that. Had over 1,000 attendees in 2022, up from around 100 in 2013. According to our ABDL users, ABDL people are often stigmatized because of this misperception that they're sexually charged and out to harm children. I highly doubt it, right? That sounds like straight effing propaganda to me. I highly doubt, obviously there's going to be people that say that. Obviously. I think the vast majority of people are concerned that you're probably kind of more at risk of being a pedo if you do this. Just saying. It seems quite obvious that you're gonna statistically you're at a much higher chance than you were if you weren't. Right? I mean, that's just common sense. It's common sense. It's beyond that part. Okay. I'm not even trying to focus on that. I want to focus on you are not well. You are not a healthy, mentally healthy human being. And I hope that you find the help that you need and deserve, quite honestly. You deserve the right help. This ain't it. This ain't it. And you know who's not helping? Who's throwing gas all over the fire? The current state of media, which is literally a dumpster fire. And we'll leave it right there. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Leave me a 5-star review on those. Please subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so ding will happen every time that this show Off the Wire and Liberty Lunch Break airs. And you can be a part of the fun live in the comment section, which is always lit. So much fun in there. Most of the time, once I get through about half of the show, I can't even keep looking at comments because they're so deep and they're so amazing. Like I just have to, if I don't, it'll wind up being a 2-hour show. And, you know, I'm not against a 2-hour show, but remember, 99% of my shows are just me. Just me by myself. That's not really good for 2 hours. You know, 1 hour, I'm surprised I'm able to pull that off and keep an audience. So, gotta keep it short. But that's how deep the comments are. Please join us. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where the lives air. They go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts later. Please like, subscribe, and share everywhere. I love you very much. I'll leave it right there. Galatians 2:20, and I am